What up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. It's your guy. Something. Hit the keys. And in today's video, I got my top 10 free plugins of 2022. Make sure if you guys do like this content though, you drop a whole elbow on that like button, hit subscribe and that notification bell so every time we bring you guys a new video, you can be the first to see. But with no further delay, let's get right into that top 10, baby. Something. Hit the key. All right, guys, so full disclosure, this isn't your top 10. This isn't their top 10. It's not your mama's top 10. This is my top 10. So these are plugins that I sincerely use that are free. So the first free plugin that I have for you guys today is an absolute gem. It's the one that I definitely say you need to go get. It's Concerto by Rolling Cloud. So I bring us to this menu first because last time I brought this to you guys, a lot of people said that it wasn't free and it was discontinued. It's discontinued from the Rolling Cloud service, meaning that you can download it for free. So all you have to do to grab it is to download the Rolling Cloud Manager. And then once you get it opened up, you're going to come over here to software. And there's going to be all these categories, hit discontinued, and it's going to bring up all these. These are all concertos or all discontinued libraries that you can use. A bunch of fire different libraries. I mean, a ton of stuff you can use. So let's go ahead and hop into FL Studio. I have Terra Piano pulled up. It's one of the libraries in Concerto, but again, there's a bunch of different stuff from orchestras to trap to all kinds of stuff. It's rolling, so it's fire. But I'm using this piano sound right here, and it sounds like this. But when you come in here, if you hit open up the instrument, you'll see right here in this orchestra, there is a ton of different brass and horns and just all kinds of different stuff. I mean, this is definitely a solid little library of stuff to grab. I would definitely recommend going to get it. I'm going to play one more instance of what I have of the plugin. I actually use it on a guitar as well. So it doesn't sound bad. Again, all the stuff in here does sound pretty good. If you were only going to get one plugin from this roundup, this would be the one that I would recommend grabbing. All right, guys, so these aren't necessarily in order from 1 to 10 or 10 to 1 or anything like that. But this next free plugin is definitely one of my favorite plugins, whether it's free or paid, and it's called StudioRack version 14 by Waves. The reason I put this version in here is because the previous versions would not allow you to add third-party VSTs. Now you can add third-party VSTs, and this thing is insane. So with this, you can add a whole bunch of different bands. So as you see right here, I have 3 different bands set up, and you can add effects to those different bands. So they only affect those bands. Then you can put global effects on everything. So you can add up to like 48 effects on just one sound, which is super fire. And I also have some free presets, so I'll leave those below as well to get you a whole bunch of different sounds. I'll let you hear some of those. But this is what that piano that we just listened to sound like before I had StudioRack on there. Now, once we throw StudioRack on there, we get it to sound like this. Now, obviously, it's not StudioRack that is doing that because you have to add the effects in the StudioRack. But again, what makes this nice is the fact that you can add so many different effects to different bands and all kinds of stuff like that. So I'll go through a few of the presets. These presets are all going to be free, and I'll be in a download below in the description for you. I will mention though, in order to get the presets to work, you will need Kilohertz Essential and you will need Cymatics Origin, but they are both free as well. And up third on this list is a plugin that definitely shocked me. It is definitely insane, and it is definitely called Crumble. When you open up Crumble, it is going to look like this. Crumble is a delay plugin that has like pitch shifting on the delay. It's got reverse delay. It's got distortion on the delay. It's got a lot of stuff on the delay. This is what it looks like once you open it up. But once you start messing with it and messing with the effects, it starts getting all crazy. It starts moving as the stuff is playing. The GUI on this one is very nice. I put it on this guitar, and this is what the guitar sounded like. You guys already heard it. All right, but then I put the StudioRack on there and I got it to sound like this. All right, so now once I threw the Crumble on there though, I need y'all to listen for just 1 second. I need y'all just to listen for 1 second. Bro, that delay just made a complete counter melody for me on top of that guitar, and it sounded super dope because it was pitch shifted. It wasn't the same tone, but it was in the same, it was in the same key and everything. So, I mean, that's fire, man. That's fire. So you can mess with it though. So I'm just gonna open up this other version right here. And as you start messing with it, you'll see how these things start moving around, which make this GUI really cool too as well. And just like that, you can get some super solid little tones and some nice delays. Up fourth for you guys today is Monster Vox Santa by Monster DAW. When you open up Monster Vox Santa, it is going to look like this. This has definitely become my go-to Vox plugin, and I have a ton of plugins with some solid Vox, but I just like the way the stuff in here sounds. So I'm gonna play a few of the things because it's cool. It has everything from like talkbox, it has beatboxing, it has singing, Mellotron singing, just all kinds of different stuff. So, and then you can use it to get different sounds. So I use it in the beat, and then I use it, this talkbox like this. All right, but then I throw this StudioRack on there and I get it to sound like this. So ultimately it's just the background noise and it's meshing well with that guitar and that piano initially. But with Monster Vox Santa, you're gonna get a whole bunch of other Vox as well. So like I said, you're gonna get girls singing, you're gonna get all kinds of stuff, guys singing too, obviously as well. But you're gonna get stuff like this too. So then I also use it for some beatboxing at the beginning of the verse after the chorus, and it sounded like this. And they got 3 different styles of beatboxes. You can use those as well. I absolutely love this Vox plugin. I definitely recommend checking it out. And coming up 5th on this list today, I got Monster Synth by Monster DAW. So Monster DAW did get 2 plugins here on the list, but I sincerely rock with all these. If I need something that's super synthy sounding for like either synthwave, or I just need some synth sounding stuff to throw into a beat, this plugin is fire because it has a ton of different presets and they all sound super good. So here's one of the presets that I used in the song. And then here's another preset. So if you're looking for some synthy stuff or some stuff that sounds like that, it's gonna be super fire for that. I mean, it has a bunch of other presets as well. Here's all the stuff that I use for Monster Synth on this beat. It sounds like this. So, you know, if you're looking for stuff that sounds like that, this is the plugin for that. The 6th free plugin that I have for you guys today comes from OzSoft, and it's called Expander. When you open up Expander, Expander is going to look like this. Basically, this is a solid widening plugin. I feel like this is the best widening plugin that has come out to date because it adds other stuff like chorus effect, detuning effect, and stuff like that. I put it on that piano that I initially had playing. It sounded like this without the expander on there and without the StudioRack on there. All right, now once I throw expander on there though, I get it to sound like this. So you can control the width and everything like that, and you can control the global controls. You get 3 different sets of more controls, so detuning, leak, enhancement controls, all this other stuff. So it's not a bad widening plugin. And now you get that movement there, and you can control that with these mod speed and size down here as well. So a good little widening plugin. If you don't have this one, it's another one that you need to grab. It'll definitely, you can use this on vocals, guitars, you can use it on whatever you want to widen it out. Just don't get too crazy, because then it's gonna, you know, make it hard to make your mix sound clean. All right, guys, and coming in 7th, I got something from IK Multimedia. It's called Modo Bass 2. When you open up Modo Bass 2, it looks like this. I can't even lie, every time I open this up, I think about the initial review I did on this, and somebody said, hey, it's that Seinfeld bass or something like that. It just cracked me up, man. But I like this bass. I like IK Multimedia, obviously. With this one, you get different stuff, so you get different play styles. So you can either finger, pick, or slap it. You can mess with the strokes. You can mess with the strings, your fretboard, different kind of the string type. You can mess with the electronics in the bass. You can mess with how it's amped up, and you can mess with the EQ, the amp model. They give you patterns that you can use, you know, in your beats that they can play, that are playable patterns, all that stuff. So done a review on this. I'm not going to go through all that. But I did use this bass guitar in this beat for like the verse part. And I use like that thick bass from Monster Synth for the chorus. So this is what it sounded like in the part I used it for. I also love the animation on the screen, like the guitar is actually playing. And then this is what that bass guitar sounded like by itself. So again, another one you can check out, it's free of charge. All right, guys, so the 8th free plugin that I have for you guys on this list today is called Tug Placento. When you open up Tug Placento, it is going to look like this. I'm not even gonna lie to you guys, I almost didn't put this on my list, and not because it's not a dope plugin, but I like to keep all my lists like this with plugins that I actually use every day. I don't necessarily use this plugin every day because I have other stuff like Shaperbox and, you know, everything else, you know, Infiltrator 2 and all of these other plugins, Looperator and stuff that allow me to do this. But if you need a plugin like that where you can add effects on a sequence, this is a solid plugin for you. So I thought I had to add it because it is a fire plugin. It is one of the best plugins that has come out this year. And basically, as you're looking at it here on the grids, you got different effects. So you can load up 5 different effects here. You see here I have reverb, distortion, chorus, decimator, and tremolo. And each time it hits here on the sequencer, that effect comes in. So if you listen to the piano, this is what that piano sounded like initially. All right, so I'm actually gonna turn the expander off for a second, and this is what the piano sounded like. All right, but once I turn Tug Placento on there, notice how it's gonna hit hard at first because I have all the effects hitting, so it's gonna be distortion, all that stuff. But then you're gonna hear it give the piano a whole bunch of movement and make it just sound different. So you can hear how the distortion, all that stuff is kicking in at the initial transient hit of the piano. And then you can hear the distortion hitting here and here and here a little bit. You can hear all this movement. So the chorus and flanger, you can hear all that movement is the chorus and flanger giving it movement. So the dun, 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 all that stuff is all the different effects that are sequenced in. And then you get more control over the effects down here. So you get control over like whatever the effect is, you'll get different control over those effects. Pretty solid plugin. You get filter controls over here. You get a bunch of different controls, a bunch of different stuff to mess with. All right, guys. And the 9th plugin on this top 10 free plugin list of 2022 definitely goes to Audio Monitored and PanFlow. And when you open up PanFlow, it is going to look like this. This is basically a panning plugin that allows you to draw the modulation or basically draw the pattern of your panning, which is super dope. You get controls like random. They have this infinite control, which is nice. So after it goes around a certain amount of bars, it will always switch up the pattern, so it'll change how that panning sounds. So I put this on some hi-hats. This is what the hi-hats sounded like initially. Now this is what the hi-hats sound like with pan flow on there. So you can hear them panning back and forth. You can also change the speed if you want to, so you can make it faster or you can make it slower. So you got control over that. You can do things like hit this randomize button and it'll randomize the curve for you. And then this right here is how extreme the randomization is going to be. So not very extreme, very extreme. And then you just have another few controls as well, where you can, it's really easy to move the nodes around and you can basically draw on your panning as you want. This is really good for bells, melodies, hi-hats. I mean, anything that you want to get movement in your beat, this is definitely a solid plugin. Very low on the CPU. It's audio modern. They make good stuff. And coming in last but not least on this list today was a hard one to pick. I mean, it wasn't a hard one to pick. The plugin's called Delay. So when you open up Delay, it's going to look like this. I don't know how 2 delay plugins made it on my top 10 list this year, but they're here and they are not moving because both of these delay plugins are solid and they serve different purposes. So this delay plugin is super nice because it comes with, like, you get distortion, you get tape distortion, and then you're gonna get duck feature, you're gonna get reverse delay, super nice spread. Then you get some different effects up here as well, or some different controls up here as well. But you get control over your distortion types. You get these kind of distortion types. You get control over your modes. So this is a solid delay plugin for like sound design. So then I used it on Monster Synth. This is what it sounded like without the delay. All right, but then I threw that delay on there and I got it to sound like this. And then you can hear how it's just exaggerating that delay, but then it's cutting it off with this duck feature right here. So it sounded pretty solid. You can hear the little bit of distortion on that delay as it's going through, but let's go ahead and mess with it a little bit more. So you can hear there, as you switch up distortion types, it's going to change the way that the delay sounds. Super nice. Obviously, we can turn this wet down a little bit. And you see how we're changing the mode and it's changing the delay as well. I'll go ahead and hit this chaos real quick for you too. Just fire, man. So that is my top 10 plugins of 2022. Tell me what I got wrong. Let me know what your top 10 plugins of the year were. Make sure you hit the subscribe button because your boy's trying to hit 25K by March 1st. Hopefully we can do it. If we do, I might give y'all something dumb like a chin reveal or something like that. But make sure if you guys do like this content, you drop a whole elbow on that like button, hit subscribe and that notification bell so every time we bring you guys a new video, you can be the first to see. Appreciate you guys' time as always, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace. All right, guys and gals, thanks for watching the video. Make sure you hit the subscribe and like button. Make sure you hit that notification bell so every time a new video comes out, you can be the first to know. Let me know what tutorials you want to see next in the comments, and see you next time.
Some, hit the key.